Gentlemen, it's 8:15. Me either. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I'd ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make the motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Is there any questions, concerns on the agenda? We are going to table the minutes from February 24th. The Board of Supervisors meeting. Probably have them on for next week's approval. Okay, if there's no other discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. No liquor license, right?
Right.
Public comment.
Bonnie.
Okay.
Mister.
Next is a budget amendment number 3. Public hearing, budget amendment number 3 for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026.
Motion to open the public hearing at 8:16.
We'll second that motion.
Okay, have a roll call on that, please.
Sayers,
Aye.
Mayberry,
Yeah.
Kraft.
Aye. We had any public comments?
I have not received any written or verbal comments prior to the meeting. In your packet is the proposed amendment as well as a narrative reason for the additional expenditures and revenues.
I went through this and I didn't see anything that was questionable. No, there are no public comments of either oral or written or from the board. I would ask for a motion to close at 8:18.
Make the motion to close at 8:18.
Second.
Roll call.
Mayberry,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
Sayers.
Aye.
Consider action adopting budget amendment number 3.
Anything you want to add to that, Amber? Anything you want to say about it?
Just kind of cleaning up the budget for the end of the year. There was some additional, public health revenues that came in. Grants they have, as well as expenses, and then also a vehicle that was totaled. So the insurance payout and expenses for that replacement. And then, so we had a retiring of employees, so we had to pay out additional that we weren't planning on. So that's, but, just some normal expenses. Oh, and then the pipeline expenses. I had to put the revenue and expenses in there in case we could start paying them this fiscal year.
I would make the motion to approve budget amendment number 3.
Second the motion.
Been a motion made and seconded to adopt the budget amendment number 3. The information read and heard from the auditor. Are there any other questions?
My only question is for the, to your public safety, 27,000 in revenue. That's all we're adding to with the, Greg's vehicle line item, right? It's just a 27,000.
Yeah, that was kind of our estimate of how much we would get back.
Anyone else have questions, concerns? I think we'll do a roll call on it too.
Crouch,
Yes.
Mayberry,
Yes.
Sayers.
Consider formal action, resolution 2609, approving funds from budget amendment number 3.
Just allows us to put the funds where they need to go.
Make the motion to approve resolution 2609, appropriating funds from budget amendment number 3.
Motion made and seconded to approve resolution 2609, appropriating funds from budget amendment to number 3 so they can be spent in the right area. I would do a roll call on that. That way we'll.
Sayers.
Aye.
Crouch.
Nice.
Mayberry.
Farrell.
Yeah,
Come up for that's where we're at.
Alright. Like to award the contract to Western Engineering for project STPSCO 65-124 IV 65. This is for L63 surface rehab going from Malvern city limits south approximately 4 miles to Attica. Total contract price $1,797,199.74. Funding for this comes through federal funds of STBG, highway safety funds through HSIP, and farm to market supplementing whatever is not covered.
Make a motion to award the L63 contract to Western Engineering for project STP SC 065-124 5E65 for a total cost of $1,797,199.74.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to award the contract to Western Engineering for L63 contract. Project stated an amount of $1,797,199.74.
I'll add this was under our engineer's estimate too. By about 30,000.
Is there any other questions?
What's the timeline for the project?
This summer, late start date of August 24th, so start here in June or August. We need the weather to be pretty hot for this mix. We'll have those conversations with them once we get the contract signed to pre-construction meeting.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. General discussion.
Don't really have anything for general discussion today. Going to the asphalt conference Thursday, Friday. It was a good one. See what's.
Okay, Ames Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. Be too far away. The airport, the airport then. Asphalt conference always thing.
I just want you to shy away from all the rest of the engineers up there.
Should I wait for that?
Yep, don't talk to them. I say, hi, Jake, you just go the other way.
All right.
Got that?
Will do.
No, I was in DC with 4 different engineers. They had very high compliments on you. And they love you to get into the organization and help out all you can. They are very pleased with what we have down here in Southwest Iowa.
Good to hear. I was invited to be on a speaking panel at ISAC. So
Good.
I'll be there Thursday. Like operations.
Through tomatoes.
Yeah.
I'll send you a couple.
I got
Write my name on it.
Yeah, do some good
You want-
rotten
yeah.
eggs.
No, Jake, you're thought of very highly by great people that I've worked with for years, so I really appreciate what they say. I have nothing for.
Yep, thanks, sir.
Only question, Jake, is there only one pest control company right now?
We have two, but one of them pretty much dominated last year, so I don't know.
I haven't received anything from another one that's the same one as I had last year.
Yeah, so. I guess it's the main one there.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you again next time.
Great. All right, chief.
Find one mistake on it in the order form.
Sure.
John here from seeking opioid money to pay for some cases of some gloves. The nitrile gloves are blocked and all and other drugs for CBD gloves we already use. For protection and treating opioid overdoses, and then also entitled O2, basically capnography sensors. We put these on the majority of our patients, basically because when we get called to a call, we don't know whether that person's in an overdose. They're usually called unresponsive or lethargic or whatever. So we have to treat every patient the same. We use these quite a bit. Entitled is basically what it does. Kind of goes through layman terms of, but one of the number one causes in overdoses is respiratory distress or rest. This is a tool that we use to plug into our cardiac monitors. Also, it adheres to the oxygen in it. We're providing efficient oxygen to basically resuscitate them. And also it measures capnography. So we're seeing how well the ventilation and how well the airflow is moving through the body, which gives us our medics so that to administer any type of medications and diffusing through the body. The total that I'm asking for is $2379.75. I had to correct that. We did it in Xbox 11. This is with my basically my discounts I get through contract pricing to Life Assist, and we do not get charged shipping or tax. We respond to a lot of the overdoses throughout the county. We have also other agencies that jump in the back of our squad, use gloves as well, and we have to put basically a box of each size of glove on each one of our apparatus. We have some station there. So we go through the gloves. I usually buy all that out of budget. That's the way things there for reimbursement for this type of stuff. And that's
Can you look through the schedule of approved uses of opioid funds? Do you know where this would fit?
it should be underneath. They told us that gloves, any type of treatment, cardiac monitors, and stuff like that. We had our meeting with them.
I just have to, so when we do our end of the year reports, I have to state exactly where it fits in the opioid use. So because we read through yesterday and we really couldn't find anything that, because it's kind of vague. I mean, for as much as on here, it's very vague on exactly what it covers. Yeah, because that way, if it's approved, then I'll know when we do our budget report next year. I won't remember if I do it next year. This is what it was. This is the approved use. So.
I know when we came to that meeting.
Right, we-
Yeah, okay.
As a board, John was there and stuff, the county attorneys and
Yeah, I just,
supervisors, we all agreed that this was something that we would take care of for
Okay.
all units in Mills County, so.
I just, yeah, I just can't find it specifically in here, but
Language.
perfect.
Yeah, if you can find the broad language, good luck.
Well, I guess you could do education of law enforcement or other first responders regarding appropriate, that's education. So, okay.
They are
Okay.
very, very bad with their language in
Okay,
this
I
thing.
know, it's hard to, yeah, so as long as we can,
I know another area.
as long as it's covered, then,
Purchase ambulance, cardiac monitors, everything.
Okay.
They're getting into a little trouble with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, this year I budgeted for, $50,000 in expenses out of opioids, and we still have $35,000. So there's plenty of money.
Yeah.
In the budget for this.
I'll make a motion to approve Glenwood Fire Department's request of $2,379.75 opioid funds to go through gloves, medical supplies, and in Title O2 monitoring with pending approval that it falls along the guidelines of the opioid settlement fund.
Second.
Well, I'm sure this follows through because John's sitting here and we've discussed many things on this and this is things that we have discussed. And,
Okay, yep.
you know, we're just glad to see somebody's finally taking care of walking up and asking for payment on things because I don't feel taxpayers should pay this if we get money to pay for it.
There's a lot of it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Probably some more and more if those two.
Yeah.
Really did listen to the scanner. You guys really awesome.
We have a motion to approve fire chief at very gloves, medical supplies, sensors, and other materials as needed for opioid payment of $2379.75. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
I,
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
Matt, have you already purchased these?
No, I'm not.
Do you want to send me when you get your invoice? And then are we reimbursing the city of Glenwood or?
Way, how do you guys want
It's
to do
easiest for you.
it? I don't care.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, just send our way.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
That's first, directly, that's
Do you-
first the
do you need
reimbursement.
some of the
which makes more sense.
Yeah.
Or do you buy?
We buy, not sure if you're, I don't know. We necessarily need some right now.
Okay,
We generally, way more than we need just because we go through them fast.
okay, no,
I guess if you're, I know Chief Johansson and I have had, I don't have anything on the agenda tonight. Today it's just general discussion. As far as opioid funds go, I'll piggyback off the possible use for it. We've been working on our policy. I think when I first came in last year, I mentioned that one of the things you want to do is update the policy. Well, in order to sit down and do the policy, you gotta have time, to be quite honest, to find more than half an hour, right, to sit down and work on it. Usually about the time that I get to sit down and work on it is about the time that I have to go do something else, so I never really get on it. We've reached out to Lexipol to see if they can possibly, take over the conversion, because basically what we do is just take our old policy and this new policy, make the changes that we feel necessary in the new one, and then take our old one and then try and bring over whatever we think is necessary for office. That just takes time. They offer a service and a cost to do that for us. Because a lot of the stuff that we're gonna ask them to be carried over, it's pretty specific and it's not a lot, but like I said, you have to go through policy once, then go back, bring everything over again,
Yeah.
then make sure you're not contradicting policy somewhere along the way, so the county costs. There's a lot of work there, and it's taken a lot more time than we anticipated, myself in particular. There has been precedent set across the state of Iowa because that policy, a lot of the policy has to do with how we deal with, the opioid crisis is included. It has been acceptable across the state of Iowa to use opioid funds to pay for that service. We're not ready to do that yet. I had a meeting with them last week. They canceled on me. I reached out this morning, yesterday afternoon with an email, asking to reset that appointment. I noticed this morning, I was on the hallway. I did receive a response, but I had not had a chance to respond then, so I don't know what it's gonna cost. I will come to you, probably at the same time that Chief Johansson will, to try and use some of those opioid funds to, assist with that process. But like I said, this one, I don't have any idea. And, I'd love to say that if I just had 2 weeks alone in my office, I could probably get through it. But
Good
2
luck.
weeks, yeah. So, it's just something that's down the road. But what I can say is we're making progress on the policies. But it's not as fast as what I had hoped, what I had anticipated, so, that this may be a way for us to get caught up to it.
Great, I can't
And then
get
we'll,
into ours either. Our whole handbook needs it, our
Yeah.
entire handbook needs to be rewritten, and I just can't
Yeah.
get into it right now. I want to, because we've got a lot of inconsistencies, and it's,
Yeah.
it's really nailed down.
And Amber and I had a conversation yesterday about it, something that came up with the safety side. It's frustrating. I use the term, it's like finish line keeps changing. You don't know where you're going, the rules along the way change. And it's not Amber's fault. I get frustrated because I don't deal with it every day. So when I deal with it once every 6 months and the rules have changed since the last time I did it, you go, ugh. And
It's not our rules are changing, it's IWCA rules that are
Yeah.
changing.
It's a frustrating process, and we keep going back to, well, our policy says, well, our policy saw data that the policy doesn't really help us, so something that we need to work on, and ideally, with the opioid plans to help us make that transition quicker and more efficient, and be awesome.
Because, I mean, same for me, as I've been thinking, is there a company that Earths are like, somebody we can use to go through our policies for us to do that? Because it just, if it left to me, it's not gonna get done for years.
Yeah.
I just don't have that,
You know, and sort of hiring one extra person.
to be a policy reviewer. We keep busy for a long time. Policy
we-
reviewer, busy for a
we
long.
are entitled to another settlement coming through. What we're working off right now, and opioid is our first settlement. We have a settlement coming through called Purdue. I think this is the manufacturing or just, I don't know, it's manufacturer, or is it distributing, John, which,
For like the resettlement, like where did it stem out of?
right?
I'm not sure if it was manufactured. They're a manufacturer. I mean, so I would assume manufacturing, but yeah,
Yeah, we
They might
got
have
a
their hands
large
across
settlement
the
from the
country.
manufacturers now. We
Biggest
will be getting
manufacturer.
another
they're pretty big.
check. of
Definitely show
opioid money,
that.
so.
Is there?
Yeah. And like I said, you know, I don't know if there's a way to tie in, because I don't know.
Well, and
Something else to research.
they said they were going to have a lot less lenient what you could use it for. You know, I mean, they've got our hands. You read through this policy they contradict themselves. I mean, from one paragraph to the next. And
Yeah.
Then when you call them and they say, well, whatever your county attorney, supervisors, and auditor think is okay with us.
Then just say that.
And I'm, well, why don't they just put that in writing and forget the rest of it?
Yeah, I agree.
No,
Yeah, I read through it when we were trying to figure out some other, well, it actually came out, as Matt said, you know, when you deal with the opioid crisis and the fentanyl stuff, you know, what protective gear could you purchase? And when you look through there, it doesn't really mean buy anything, but that's what it meant. I don't know, you know, gloves, absolutely. We've been buying the nitrile gloves forever, just because of the environment we're in, the unknowns, and Matt's the same way, the unknowns we deal with every day with what comes into the jail. We don't know what somebody's carrying in. Everything from, you know, narcotics or whatever it is they're infected with. So we have to be precautions, but, yeah, to say that we right now could use some gloves, I can't, but, you know, some of the other stuff, like you said, when we start looking at what the quote unquote requirements are, or what the restrictions are, of what you can purchase, what you can't purchase, it sure looks like a lot of stuff that we truly would need. It's not. So it's hard, and heaven forbid we spend it, and then, you know, 2 years later or 5 years after a flood, we have to pay it all back. I would hate that. I'd rather err on cautious. That's all I got. I've got nothing else, nothing fun today.
Travis is gonna send you that accident report either Friday tomorrow or sometime this week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, Greg, if you do get a
Greg.
number from Flexible, will you let me know and make sure that I budget
Yes.
for it
Yes.
next year?
Yeah, we just got our annual bill, which is, we have budgeted for.
But like they're.
Yeah, this is good, yeah.
Yeah, if you, yeah,
It's probably gonna be basically double. Yes.
yeah, just send me a rough number.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Hey, Amber, you're up. General discussion.
I really don't have what, I'm just plugging along. Living the
Okay.
dream right now, so
Nothing to do.
nothing to do, so.
Chad? You can come to the table, you can.
All right. Want to come and ask about maybe doing something with the assessor's entrance area where we're more secure for the people working inside thing. I was doing like a remodel of the doorway, leaving the door, but we got 3 glass system in there, making like where people come up instead of walking into the office and talking and standing at their desk, literally right beside them. They come up to like a window, kind of like what we have at the attorney's office with the microphone and a paper thing, slide the papers in, and they can come up to the window from their desk instead of people just standing around their desk while they're working. I have talked to glass companies all last week. I reached out to them yesterday again to see if they could have their pricing on a tempered piece of glass with the microphone in it and the paper slide out in the bottom, cut out. They are just waiting for their suppliers to get back to them still. But I've talked to Red Oak Glass, I've talked to Albright Glass and Shenandoah Glass. He didn't get back to me yesterday when he was gonna, but they all said that the window itself, just a tempered piece of glass, was gonna be roughly right around $500, or maybe more. When it comes right down to it all, this is something we can do ourselves. I mean, like I do myself even for us. Keep the cost down. We don't have to worry about having a contractor spending that extra money on it. We can just do it in-house right here and do it ourselves. The only thing we'd have to have really spend the highest, most money would be the glass, these glass. The lumber to do it, we pretty much can use what's there, everything to reframe it and just have the other piece of glass that's there, just cut down where the new piece of tempered glass would fit in with them. But that would give them a little more security and a little more peace of mind to sit in there by themselves, but other people all standing around their desk while they're working.
Is it, so just the glass is around $500,
Just-
that's not including the like, anything like that?
Yeah, just the glass for them to have it all cut out, and then we can purchase the little microphone and put all that in. So I mean, but from what I priced out myself, I'm thinking this could be done for under $1,500.
They're really the only office that allows people to
Yeah.
come into their
Yeah.
office space.
There's
And so
nothing
that,
between.
It'd be nice to have a window there.
yeah, and then that way you can still conduct your business and,
So that's my.
yeah. So we wanted to bring it to you because it's over the $500 mark.
Yeah,
If it's okay to proceed, we get a motion to move ahead. And then when he gets his final numbers, bring that to you guys.
Yeah.
We have some money budgeted in our
Yeah.
courthouse and 99 too, so we can find it.
Oh, yeah.
if it wasn't for the glass, we'd have been.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
is over the mark,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
I'd make the motion to, well, I guess this formal action, I'd make the motion to move forward with the updates to the assessor's office store.
Motion made and seconded to authorize the facilities coordinator to go ahead and do updates to the assessor's office door. I think myself, anytime we can improve the security in this concrete bunker, we should. It's not easy to do. You take, they're in the safe office in this whole building. Everybody's going, man, you got cement walls. I said, yeah, where can you go? So, no. Any other questions,
Turn out
concerns?
the windows.
Don't do that, they don't open.
All those in favor?
I,
Motion carries.
To piggyback on what he's doing for the assessor's office, I've asked him to kind of price out doing something similar for my office. We've talked about it tonight. What I would like to do, and I'm getting your guys' opinion, is shore up that with drywall and then make my office more of like entry points. People come to that. We make a window there. And then I would have like Kat and Megan in that office and then move us then behind what would be a wall. So that way we do have a lot of confidential stuff, HR, different things that sometimes it's hard to have those conversations in our office because it's so open. And we really can't see any of it's coming down the hall. So if we have a window down at this end, you can see who's coming. So I'm just gonna judge your reactions and then have him start looking at that as well. And I don't think that would be super expensive either. It's just,
The glass would probably be, again, the most expensive part would be the glass.
Yeah. We're looking into it, but make it, a little nice.
Sure.
okay.
And I had talked to them guys and they said if we wanted that, they can get the pricing of the glass for that. What size of glass we want, so.
You just put it on the door then.
We'll
No,
just take
the
that door
display-
framing out,
The
take it all out,
display piece
and
too.
we'll
We'd
rebuild
have to
just
put the
like we're
display
gonna
piece
do,
somewhere.
pretty much just like exactly what I'm gonna do at this.
Yeah.
area.
So, and we're leaving this door locked.
Yeah.
So we have some sort of, and then that way we can kind of leave that a little bit locked up too, so we don't get, because we've had vendors just walk in. Like, they just walk in, and it's like, no. So it would be nice to shore up that office. And then Chad, do you have an update on the remodel or the stuff they want upstairs?
I just got, matter of fact, Ideal sent me theirs yesterday morning. I reached out to the other two contractors yesterday and left both of them messages asking when they could get me as soon as possible their bids.
Okay.
But Ideal did get me theirs actually yesterday morning about 8:30 came through.
Just let me know when we're ready.
Locals too.
I talked to one guy that had done some work here. He is in Alabama now, so I think it's time to him. I've talked to, what's the one guy's name? Talked to one of the guys who did the other windows.
Wheels or gotta be.
That might have been, he's had two other guys come in and look at the framing of the windows too, because they've all agreed that it is put together raw and it is gonna be a complete tear out. And I got to reframe. Ideal did do a bid on taking the window out, boxing in and have just one big picture window area in the middle. But they also bid it as redoing the framing and putting the right framing and it locks in like it's supposed to.
Oh, that's great. I was asking about
Very bad.
Yeah, I was thinking back. yeah,
upstairs.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's part of Ideal's, it's on
Oh.
Ideal's bid too.
Okay,
They came in and did a bid for everything.
Cause Bloom did some work at our comm center downstairs.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
try
I believe Bloom is
try-
the other guy. I think that was one of the guys.
try Gator out of Malvern. I mean, there's,
That's the guy, I think that's, this guy in Melbourne, he was in Alabama when I talked to him.
okay,
Bloom is one, I think Bloom's did across the street.
yeah.
They did?
Yes, and they did come, that's the other contract I asked. I called yesterday and
Good.
said, hey, I need to get up there, because they did come in and measure everything, from windows to the bathrooms to everything.
Good.
So,
try to keep it local if you can.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
When tiles are falling apart in the bathroom.
Yes.
That's not a good look.
Yeah,
It's time.
Yeah.
yes,
it's
correct,
time.
yes.
It's
The
been-
downstairs bed bathroom too.
I was thinking that's
That's
the
there
next
too.
one.
Yeah.
That will be our next one, yes. Yes,
Yeah, keep poking the bear.
Thanks, sir.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is Southwest Iowa Juvenile Detention Center and Emergency Juvenile Service.
This is just our annual 2080 agreement with Juvie. All the counties are signing it. Nothing's changed. Same agreement we've had for, geez, well over a decade.
We only had one more week, but there was one thing, or a few things we wanted to go over with Amber, just to clarify on it. So we will want the approval.
Just about till next week.
Yeah, just make sure all the ducks are in a row.
Okay, we will table item 12 for next week on advice of county attorney.
Yeah.
Katie?
The first thing that I'm asking for is request for approval, for some metal shelving units for the basement where I keep the storage unit or election.
The annex you're here.
Down the annex.
How much to do?
So I will be, requesting purchase from Uline, 12 units. Each unit is $420. So the total price would be $5,000 $40. That is included in my budget for this fiscal year.
I'd make the motion to approve the purchase of the metal shelving units for $5,040 to Uline.
Second.
Do you guys have any questions for me?
Well, I just think it's time that we get everything off the floor down there so we don't have it either getting full of water, mold, or other things when we have a wet, rainy spell, you know, and the water sets in the on there and somebody goes, oh, maybe we should check the basement. And it's a day too late.
And the purpose for the shelves is to get all of the precincts, all of their supplies on one shelf, and hopefully that will help with delivery of supplies to the locations.
Will this go into the current gated area, the basement of the annex?
So we've outgrown the current gated area.
Yeah.
So with the new machines, I'm not able to have all the machines locked up when it's not election period and still be able to access any of the other supplies I have in there. So for me to be able to get into any of my cabinets or any of the current shelves, I have to pull everything out and be able to get into any of those. And then currently when I'm working like testing equipment, I cannot feasibly lock any of those machines up currently where I'm the only one who has access to them. So that is one of the reasons why I have in my budget for next year to wall off a larger area so that everything's more secure and in line with Iowa code.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded. Purchase of shelving from Uline, $5,040. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And the next thing I have requests to approve, for approval to purchase is materials to build new work tables. So with the purchase of the, shelving units, I'm wanting to set up shelves or tables with those shelving units where I can pull out machines and have a workspace where the FET or the ballot marking device is on the table. And then when we're testing equipment, they have a actual workspace that they can have their testing equipment and everything. So I did do a price comparison because I looked at Uline and they had a table for 12 units. They were $315 a piece for a total of $3,780, and I thought that was outrageous. So I talked with Chad and we found wood tabletops and metal legs that we can then build those tables ourselves. And the cost of that total would be $1,843.56 from Amazon.
You say 1,086.
$1,843.56.
Make the motion to approve the purchase materials for work tables at a total cost of $1,843.56. And a sign.
Second that motion.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve materials for work tables of 1,843.56. Any other questions, concerns? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, chair.
Yep, last thing is purchase of 12 fabric task chairs, so they're chairs without arms. But gonna be 12 units at $130 a piece for a total of $1,560. 3 of those would be here at the courthouse for use for our absentee board when they're working on processing any absentee ballots. Currently, we don't have any chairs back there. We're pulling chairs from in here. And these ones get a little hard to maneuver with the armrest. And then the other units would be going down to the annex to help with public testing for whenever I bring in volunteers.
Are these a folding type chair or?
No, they're gonna be roller chairs.
Roller chairs?
Yep, so I do have a picture of them for you. And that is just because it's a little bit more easy for us to maneuver with those roller chairs down in the basement. Second. Oh, it's right there. So they would look like that.
Need more storage.
Well, right now the PEOs are sitting on metal chairs, which are doable, but a lot of my volunteers are older and we're down there for 8+ hours a day, sometimes 2 days in a row. And then if someone's helping me with the office test, that could be weeks where they're sitting on metal chairs, and that's just not comfortable for anybody.
Could we use 12 chairs from the annex where the current meeting room is in there?
I could ask for those, but I do know when I've asked Audra in the past, we have to bring them down and bring them back up. And I mean, that is doable. It's just a little clunky getting them down those stairs because there's no easy way to get stuff
Yeah,
down
I
there.
was just saying, if we put them down there for good and just,
That would be a question with Audra since she runs the conference room. And I just know in the past, I've had to, it's a lending out of keeping them down there. So that is an option.
Had a meeting here a while back where we used almost every single chair we had.
it could be full sometimes.
Yeah.
It could be full sometimes down there. You know how many chairs we have down there, Chad?
No, that I don't know.
Yeah, I know we bought new ones here. There's no
And
long tables and
her,
chairs.
her price is, I would say, maybe $2 or $3 higher than we paid for those down there. All they bought.
Yeah, your price is always gonna go down the larger quantity
Yeah.
that you're buying.
Here down the road. I do want to take care of our volunteers.
And this is in your budget as well.
Yes, it is.
You need 12.
Yeah, I mean, I could always, if we wanted to split it up, I could. Just usually when I do a public test, I usually have 12+ volunteers.
I'd make the motion to move forward with the purchase of 12 chairs for $1,560.
You got a second or not, Jack? I'll step down and second the motion. Approve the purchase of 12 chairs. Is there any other discussions? Not all those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thanks.
Motion carries 2-1.
Thank you, guys.
Next on the agenda is Supervisors Board Committee updates. Well, I spent 4.5 days in DC. So the major things that we discussed went through back there. One of them was Farm Bill. Some things that supervisors like and dislike. We also went through Medicaid, Medicare, trying to get them up to speed with what things cost nowadays instead of back in the 1980s and things. Some of the big problems. Drugs was another cost, that a lot of elderly people are having trouble meeting. Another big one that a lot of the senators and stuff in the country was working on with water quality, trying to keep it, the lakes and stuff clean, not allowing some of the destruction and stuff going on around lakes, rivers, they don't want to see water damage. One thing that was kind of shocking was they had an hour and a half on property tax. Florida, Ohio, Indiana, Nebraska, Illinois, and two other southern states sat on a panel. And it's kind of a nationwide thing with property tax all over. It's not just here in Iowa like we think it is. No, it's all over the United States. Everybody is having trouble with property tax. Florida had been looking at some way to offset, change the payment or something, and it would take anywhere from 24, 26 cents out of the dollar on income tax paid for property tax in Florida. I realize they're probably one of the more expensive states to own property in. I don't know, but it was a very interesting meeting. The guy from Nebraska ran the meeting, and he said that, hey, you'd like me to come over and visit with you people? He says, I'd be more than glad to. So I'm gonna get a hold of him, and if he wants to come over and give us a half hour talk on what they're trying to do and stuff, or ideas. I mean, if there's a problem like this all over the United States, I think everybody should be talking to one another and not have 48 different ideas floating around what we're gonna do about it. Another thing that I looked in deeply, which I'm in hopes we can get started, and that's prescription drugs for everybody in the county. Is put on by NACO. Big drug companies begin with the C, but anyway, you can use any drug company you want. You have to qualify or sign up for a prescription card, especially for people that are on fixed incomes. You can get from any of the on a generic drug, if possible, you can get a 40 to 70% reduction. And the only thing the county gets out of it is $1 prescription. The NACO pays back to the county. The handling charge and stuff is pretty much taken care of at the drugstores and things. So I think it'd be a good opportunity, if you can get this sold to the people that's on fixed incomes. You get 70% off some of these prescriptions they got to have, especially insulin right now. It's totally ridiculous, or any other drugs. I think it's something I know we're gonna have a meeting at Isaac on it coming up next week. So,
through the service they provide.
yep. And all they do is deposit for every prescription that is run through this card stuff. We get $1 out of it, put into an account. You can do whatever you want with it. So, doesn't sound like a lot of money, but you start looking at the number of prescriptions there is in the county. You got, I wouldn't say it'd be not impossible to get $1,000 a month out of the county. They would pay us. In other states, that's what they're doing. So, and we had a meeting last night with the 911 system, and we donated the whole Suburban to the Mineola Fire Department. So they're going to use it to run back and forth between Mineola and Silver City, and use it to carry equipment to maybe fires or things like that. So we thought it was a good deal. Let somebody else, it's what they're wanting. So, we didn't feel we could give it to some entity in the county. County owns it. Why, charge for it and stuff. So it was on a donation basis. That's all I have, gentlemen.
Last week, I had a meeting with Mark Norman. We went to the Les Hills landfill to talk about a few issues there. Met with Kelly Danielson, who runs the landfill. along with a few other landfills in the region, and then a few of the people who just work at that landfill talking about traffic congestion, trash along the highway, dirt being pulled out from their road onto Highway 34, just a few different things. Then also talking about being good community partners and giving back to the community. So working with them on that. Also met with Matt White and Audrey Kruger last week down at the Annex building. Had two members of the Zoning Board of Adjustment joined us, and we talked about a few things going on with the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Had a meeting with Golden Hills yesterday. As I mentioned last week, there's some changes that we're making at Golden Hills, so I'll keep you up to date on those. And then last week, our home health supervisor put in her resignation. So last day was her final day. Last week she had her final day of work. So working through that, the Fremont County Public Health nurse has been moved to full-time, and she will start doing a lot of these supervising duties for the homemaking program. We have a homemaker who will start next week, and we are advertising for another part-time homemaking position. So although things are a little tight with the homemaking schedule right now, they will be put back in place, and we'll get up to date. That's all I have.
Let's look at a 911 communications meeting with county attorney, City Glenwood, Schultz, and at our legislative meeting Friday with ISAC.
So we're still all right with staff with public health stuff. But I mean, as far as homemakers and stuff taking care of the people.
The schedules are, I guess, I will say the employees are putting in a lot of hours. They're working more hours than they usually would. But the schedules are tight. So hopefully when the whole new homemaker gets hired next week, I believe the 9th is the first day she said she could work. Then that will help ease that situation. But it's a little tight right now.
Next on the agenda is new business. Anybody, anything you want to bring up at this time? It takes place next week, or I know we have ISAC Thursday, Friday, or Wednesday, Thursday,
Friday. So
I'm sending two from my office, but I'm not attending this time.
I know we have a session with auditors.
Right. I'm not gonna be there.
he said,
Megan and Kat are going.
Has Kat ever been to an ISAC conference? No further business. I'll make a motion to adjourn at 9:08.
second that.
Was made and seconded to adjourn at 9:08. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Everybody's signature on that one. And then, Richard, I need your signature. Not in the set plan that